I'm a little scared to make this video, not gonna lie. So today I'm going to be ranking some of the most popular as well as my favorite Romantasy series. This is going to be a Romantasy ranking video. Now, some criteria. All of these series fall under the Romantasy category, and all of the books that I've put on this list have either 2 or more books out. There is going to be a runner-up that I'm going to mention, but because it's the only book out in a series, I feel like I can't properly rank it. Also, some of these series are unfinished, so their place definitely could change depending on how the rest of the series plays out. But we are going to dive straight in, and I think I'm going to go lowest to highest for this. Yeah. So we're going to start with my runner-up. So my runner-up, number 11 pick for top Romantasy series is going to be Warrior Princess Assassin, which is book 1 in the Braided Fate series. This series is going to be a trilogy. I absolutely loved book 1. This was a 6-star Infinity Star. I absolutely loved this read so much. I thought it was fantastic. The only reason why I feel like I can't rank it higher is because it's the only book out in the series. So because this is only one book being compared to series that are either finished or at least have multiple books out, I feel like I can't rank this any higher until we at least have book 2 and know what happens in book 2. But this is a really strong runner-up. I absolutely loved this book, and I would highly recommend it. I cannot wait for book 2. So in 10th place, we have a YA fantasy series, and that is going to be Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead. This is the musty dusty copy that I read when I was in elementary school. And oh my god, I love this series. This series is so unique. We have an academy setting for book 1. We have vampires that are mortal. We have super interesting vampire lore in here. We have the good mortal vampires who have elemental magic versus the evil immortal vampires that are the Strigoi. And then we also have the Dompiers, which are half vampire, half human. The lore in these books is fantastic. There are multiple beautiful romantic relationships throughout these books. The plot twists, the way everything develops, the relationship between our 2 FMCs, Rose and Lissa, is absolutely amazing. They have such a beautiful, strong friendship. And this is a 6-book completed series. There is a spin-off series to this, Bloodlines. I have not read the spin-off series yet because I actually read books 1 and 2 of this when I was a kid and then didn't finish the series until I was an adult. So I have not read Bloodlines yet, but it is definitely on my TBR. I do plan to get to it at some point, but I loved these books so much. I think they're fantastic, and rereading the first 2 and then finishing the series as an adult, this series really held up and held its own against a lot of these adult fantasy series. So this is going to be number 10. Absolutely love this series. Highly recommend. In our number 9 spot, the books are down here on my shelf. I could not get them out because I have books stacked in front of them, and I was like, that's a little too much. But we have the Persephone and Hades saga and the Hades saga by Scarlett St. Clair. The Persephone saga is 4 books. The Hades saga is 3 books. I tandem read, so you read book 1 of Persephone and Hades, book 1 of Hades, so on and so forth until you get to book 7, which book 7 is multi-POV. It's kind of got a little bit of everything. I absolutely loved that series. It is, as you can tell by the title, it is a Persephone and Hades retelling. So we've got the Greek gods and goddesses. the underworld in this is one of like the best. The world building for the underworld is fantastic. I think it's one of the most interesting and most unique depictions of Hades in the underworld that I've seen, while still being true to that original Greek mythology. I literally love those books so much. They had everything. Those books made me laugh. Those books made me cry. Those books have some of the best side characters that I've ever read. Hermes from those books. I love Hermes. Those books are spicy, they are fun, they're emotional, they're sad, they're devastating at times. They have beautiful relationships. I really, really love those books, and I would highly, highly recommend them. I would also highly recommend doing the tandem read. Like, I think it's really, really worth it to, because you get to read a book from Persephone's perspective, and then you get to read about the same events from Hades' perspective, and you really get to see both of their sides of it. And I feel like it just gives you such a unique and like really rich look into their worlds. I absolutely love those books, and that is why they are in that number 9 spot. So, number 8, we have the Wolves of Ruin series. Now, the more that I think about this, I'm wondering if I should have put this lower down, if this should have been like 9 or 10, and maybe Hades and Persephone should have been number 8, and maybe Vampire Academy should have been higher than this, just because this is a series that only has one book out. However, this series is like so unique and so different, and I loved both the FMC and the MMC. There's like a diabolical plot twist in this book that like knocked me on my ass. And I feel like, again, this is one of those books that really does have everything. Like, it's emotional, it's funny, the so fast paced. Things are happening. From the first page in this book to the last, things are happening. But I really, really love the magic system. I love that throughout this book you're like uncovering all these secrets and you're learning all these like interesting things. I really, really enjoy this. I think this is a fantastic series, and I definitely do think, depending on how the other books go, this has potential to move up in the rankings for sure. So Direbound, Sable Sorensen, this is going to be, well, I'll say it's number 8 because that was the order that I put it in. I think I would probably swap. I feel like this is realistically probably this is number 10, and the other two are a little bit higher. As I get into the middle, you'll see I'm like really conflicted about some of these. It was very, very hard for me to try to rank these. So in my number 7 spot, I feel very, very solid about this ranking. We have Blood of Hercules and Bonds of Hercules. This is the first completed duet in the Villains of Lore series. Which is like a Greek Spartan, which is like a Greek Spartan retelling. These books were so good. These are some other books that really have everything. I laughed, I cried, I giggled, kicked my feet. These books were phenomenal. We follow Alexis Hurt, who is our FMC. She is like a genius, but she's grown up in the foster system. She has been abused and mistreated, and you follow her journey as she learns that she is not, in fact, a normal human girl, but she is a Spartan and is a member of this immortal race. Their race and their culture, their culture is very, very violent. It's very, very bloody. There are like games and trials throughout these books, which are like super interesting. I really enjoyed. This is also a why choose MMF situation, which is my personal favorite relationship dynamic to read about in a book. So I really, really enjoyed that about these. I love Alexis as a character. I think she's so funny. She's so relatable. I really, really loved her and really, really connected with her. And our MMCs in this are like truly morally gray. But oh my god, all the male characters in this are so hot. And like the two main MMCs, especially, have so much depth and are so freaking interesting. There's also like a ton of like magical and mythical creatures in here. We have some mythical creature sidekicks, which I think is super, super cool. We have some spice, we have some humor. These books have everything that I want to read in a romantasy, and I really, really loved these. So these sit solidly in the number 7 spot. So next up is spot number 6. I had a really, really hard time ranking spots 4, 5, and 6 because I feel like these 3 series that sit in this spot could really, first of all, could go either way depending on how they end. But second of all, really depending on my mood and what I'm valuing in a book, could really change. But for now, we are going to put Fae and Alchemy by Callie Hart at number 6. So books currently out in this series are Quicksilver and Brimstone. These follow Kingfisher, who is a Fae, and Ceres, who is a human. And we see their story as Ceres ends up in the world of Evelia, the world of the Fae. I love these books so much. This is another series that literally has everything. Like, you've got heartbreak, you've got pain, you've got crazy plot twists, you've got a little bit of humor sprinkled in there. There are so many fantastic characters in this series, including the side characters. I love that we have like fully fleshed out side characters in here that aren't just plot devices, but truly feel like fully fleshed out characters of their own. I really, really love that about this book. I think that is something that this book does really, really well, and I really, really enjoy that. The relationship between Ceres and Kingfisher is beautiful. There is some fantastic spice in here. We also have Onyx, our little animal sidekick. The magic system in here is really unique and really different, and I have really loved reading this series and discovering like the lore. I feel like there were some people that didn't like Brimstone because they said it was slow, but for me, I loved being absorbed in the lore of that book. Like, truly, I think these books are phenomenal and I love them so much. And I think whenever that third and final book comes out, that really could push this series so much higher for me, depending on how it ends. So I'm really looking forward to finishing the Fan Alchemy series later this year when that final book comes out. I think it's going to be fantastic. And I really, really love this one. So in our number 5 spot, we have, can you guess what it is? Shield of Sparrows. We have book 1, Shield of Sparrows, book 2, Rights of the Starling. Now, this isn't the I have 2 copies of this, and this isn't the one I'm reading. I was looking for my bookmark, but I am currently about 60 pages into Rights of the Starling, so I have not finished this book yet. So do keep that in mind with this ranking. But I read Shield of Sparrows last year, loved it, like 6-star Infinity Star read for me. I ranked this as my number 5 book of the year, so kind of fitting that it's also number 5 in this series ranking. But I just finished my reread of this to prep for Rights of the Starling, and it is just so good. Odessa is such a unique FMC. I love that we have to see her go on this emotional character journey to become the woman that she can be, to become this amazing woman. She starts out and she kind of doubts herself, and she has insecurities from the way her family has treated her and the way they view her, and she can't really fight. So seeing her go through the book and have all this fantastic character development and watching her become who she is so beautiful. And in Shield of Sparrows, the last like 20 to 30 pages, like diabolical plot twist after plot twist after plot twist. But going back and reading it, there's so much foreshadowing that the first time I read it, I didn't catch. I caught some of it, but not all of it. These books are just so layered, and they're also so unique. Like, yeah, there's an arranged marriage trope. Yeah, there's a bit of an enemies to lovers, which is like classic romantasy tropes. But I mean, the monsters and the world building of these books are so, so different than anything else I've ever read before. And that's definitely one of the reasons why they rank so high, is that to me, I feel like there's no other series like this. So I really, really love this. I feel like the ranking, again, could change depending on how Rites of the Starling goes, and it also could change depending on how that final book, whatever it may be, how that final book goes. So I love this series. I feel really good about putting it at number 5, and I really can't wait. As soon as I'm done filming, I'm going to dive back into Rites of the Starling, and I'm so excited to see where this goes. In the number 4 spot, we have A Court of Thorns and Roses. Now, I read this series for the first time this year. I actually just read it back in January. Shameless plug, reading vlogs are up on my YouTube if you want to check those out. But I love this series. It is like so beautiful. This ranks so highly because of the found family. Reading through this series back to back to back, reading it when I did, I really felt like I was part of the family. You feel like you're part of the inner circle, part of the night court. And the emotions that I felt because of this book are what ranks it so highly. I fucking sobbed my way through A Court of Wings and Ruin, sobbed my way through A Court of Silver Flames. I think there's so much to be said about this series, from the plot to the world building to the found family. Like, books 1 through 3 have this beautiful arc, and you get to see Feyre, and you get to see her relationship with Rhysand. You get to see her have all of this fantastic character development. And then the little novella, you get kind of like a break from the craziness. You get to just see the family being together, enjoying each other. And then A Court of Silver Flames is just this insanely emotional, character-driven journey that is just so, so beautiful. And I could go on and on about this series, but I love this series so much. I love all of the main characters. Every single member of the Night Court has like a special place in my heart. Through reading the ending of A Court of Wings and Ruin, I was like emotionally devastated. I won't spoil anything in case anybody hasn't read it, but some of the things that happened at the ending, I was just bawling, just like losing it, because it was so good and so beautiful and like devastating. I would highly recommend this series if you haven't read it already. And I feel like the fact that it ended up so highly on this list, as so highly on the list of somebody who's doing this ranking as like a lifelong romantasy reader. I feel like I read my first romantasies literally back in like elementary school. I feel like that just does go to show how good of a job Sarah J. Maas did with this series, because it is so, so beautiful, and like the found family is really what sets it apart and makes it so fantastic. So now we are getting to our top 3. In third place, drumroll please, we have the Empyrean series by Rebecca Yarros. This is book 1, Fourth Wing. There are currently 3 books out in the series, and I believe it's going to be a 5-book series. So we are waiting on books 4 and 5. I know Rebecca Yarros is currently taking like a bit of a hiatus from writing these books. I think she has maybe said that she started drafting. She's posted like a couple teasers showing that I think she's going to be working on it soon. But oh my god, the first 3 books in this series, every single one is so freaking emotional. There is like a found family in here as well between the writers in their squads. There's like emotional devastation in these books. You're dealing with real high stakes, character death, and loss. There's a lot that you're going through in these books. There's like political intrigue, there's like political turmoil, there's beautiful relationships. The relationship between Xaden and Violet is amazing. I love Violet as a character. Her being an FMC who does not start out strong, her strength lies in her mind and her intelligence, who suffers from chronic illness. I love Violet so much. She's one of my favorite FMCs of all time. I really cannot talk enough about how much I love her. I really think she's so amazing and she's so strong. I love that the dragons in this are characters in their own right. They're not just plot devices, they are really fully fledged characters in the story. I love that. I love all the side characters in this book. I love that we do get like some comedic relief, especially through those side characters. I love that we had like different high stakes plot points in every book. I love that we have like the games and trials in here, and then we're going through like different trials and struggles in book 2, and then something completely different in book 3. I really, really love that each book has had its own interesting, unique, like fast paced dynamic. I think that these books are so fantastic. I would highly, highly recommend these. I feel like pretty much everybody in the Romantasy space has read at least one of these books, but these are just so good and I really, really love them so much. And I am terrified for book 4, but I also can't wait for book 4. So again, these are also, because they're unfinished, depending on how the series ends, it could go either way. They could be moved up, they could be moved down. I think it really just depends on how the rest of the series ends up playing out. But yeah, for right now, they are very solid in the number 3 spot. Love these books. Cannot wait for book 4. Number 2. This is where we get into the books that I do not see many people talking about. So for number 2, we have Bitten and Bound by Amy Penza. This is the omnibus form of the series, so it's got all 3 books. This is a trilogy. We have book 1, Given, we have book 2, Stolen, and we have book 3, Kept. This is one of the most unique books I've ever read. The vampire lore in here is so freaking unique. The vampires are not immortal, and the vampiric like religion system in here is so fascinating and like so crazy. things are happening. So these are going to be my number one Romantasy series of all time. And to be so honest with you, I don't think that that's going to change. I think these are going to be number one for my top Romantasy series probably forever. I don't know that anything could dethrone these for me. So yeah, with these in my number one spot, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope this was entertaining. Let me know in the comments what other videos you would like to see from me. Thank you again for watching. Every view means like so much to me. I love YouTube, even though I have like such a small platform over here. So we're posting every Monday, long form. Most Mondays, I will say, most Mondays I post. And then I am also posting short form on here whenever I have time. So definitely subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. I make bookish videos, may branch out into other niches at some point, but for now, bookish videos. And yeah, thank you guys again. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that I'll see you in my next one. Bye!